Hi everyone. In this video, I will explain how we can modify themes in Angular Material 19 using CSS and SCSS both. So to showcase the theming with Angular Material 19, I have prepared this little demo. I will walk you through the steps how I prepared this demo so you can create the similar experience. And at the end, I'm also going to provide a GitHub repository for this code. So if you don't want to do these steps, it's okay. Let's get started. So first of all, install the Angular CLI, then create a new project keeping SCSS as your styling partner. I will also skip this test for this demo and I will keep rest of the things as default. Then install Angular Material 19. Uh, and when you install Angular Material 19, make sure to select custom theme for your Angular Material 19. And for next answers, you can select as per your need. But I am going to select yes for typography and enable and include for animations. Then what we will do, we will create uh, components using Angular Material schematics. So simply create components for navigation, dashboard, and address form. And once you are done with creating the components, what I have done, I have implemented a content projection in navigation so that whatever we provide inside navigation component, it gets projected. I'll show you that. If I go to navigation component, if you take a look at over here, I have added ng content, right? And in mat toolbar, I have also added a theme toggle, as you can see over here, right? So theme toggle has an icon of light mode and dark mode. So the idea behind this toggle is to provide light and dark theme switch functionality, right? Right now it's not doing anything, but we are going to do that uh, in this video. Okay. Now, if you go back to steps, I have applied some style so that it aligns properly. These are some simple stylings. And on toggle change, I'm toggling the dark class on body. So if I inspect and if we go to body, you can see the dark class is getting added and removed. As of now, dark theme is not getting applied, but we will do that. Once everything is done, simply wrap everything in app navigation and add everything in your app component. Let me show you that. So just as simple as that. So you will have all this structure with you. Okay. Now let's take a look at our default theme, which Angular material created for us when we added Angular material. Okay. I'll open up style.scss. So if you look at over here, there is an HTML selector and in it uh, CLI added mat.theme and in mat.theme we have three properties: color, typography, and density. You can read more about it in Angular Materials website. If you go to guide section and theming Angular Material, uh, all the sections are given in uh, detail. So, but we are mainly going to focus on color because we want to learn how we can modify themes, right? So if you look at the colors, by default, Angular material team is using Azure and Blue palette, and theme type is also light. For now, I will remove theme type because by default it generates, it has theme type as light. So there is no need of it. I will save this file. Now, if you look at over here, Angular team uses Azure and Blue palette, but Angular material team also provides 12 palettes: red palette, green palette, blue palette, and many more. So you can use any palette you want and you can change your theme. Okay. But what if we want to use our own palette? We want to create our own palette from custom colors. We can do that. So Angular Material Team provides a schematic called theme color. We can use that to generate our theme. Let's run that. So what I'll do, I'll go to terminal and I'll run that command. For primary color, I will select 6750A4. For Rest of the colors I will leave blank. And for high contrast, also I will leave blank. You can select yes if you want. For path, I'm going to select src slash styles slash so that it generates file inside styles folder. So if you press enter, it will create a file for you. I have already created file in this project. If you go to theme colors, you will have a similar file structure available for you. If you take a look at this file, uh, it is finally returning two palettes for us, which is primary palette and tertiary palette. You can take a look at the code to understand how the colors are getting generated. Basically, each and every palette has 0 to 100 index colors, and it is generating palettes from that. Okay. So what we will do, we will use this theme and let's see how it turns out in our output. So I will import our theme color file, and instead of mat.azure palette, we will use theme colors.primary palette, and for tertiary, I will use theme color.tertiary palette. Let's save this. Okay, let's take a look at the output. You see, it is getting changed. Earlier it was blue, but now it is more on purplish side. Okay. If you look at the other buttons, other component, you will notice the color difference, right? So we saw how we can generate our custom palette and apply that in our mat.theme mixin. Okay. Now, Angular material generates system variables. Those are CSS variables basically. And to generate those system variables, Angular material theme uses mat.theme mixin. So when you use mat.theme mixin, it generates CSS variables and each and every component reads colors from those CSS variables. Let's take a look at it. Let's try this card component. So this card component, let's see how the background color is getting applied. So in background color, you see it is using where mat sys surface container low, and it has some colors applied to it. So when we use mat.theme mixin, it generates this system variables. Okay. So what will happen if you comment out this? Let's see. I will save this. And if you look at the output, components still use those CSS variables because they are coded in such a way. But now those CSS variables are not getting generated because we have omitted color property out of our theme mixin. And if you take a look at the output, it looks like a wireframe, right? So all the color CSS variables are now not generated. So this is helpful if you want to use your own colors or your own CSS variables. You can omit this property. You can bring in your own CSS variables, also known as system variables. Okay. Now, Angular Material Theme has provided a basic guideline. What are all the system variables? So basically, they use primary, error, outline, and surface for main as a main colors to apply foreground and backgrounds on majority of the components. Rest of the colors, secondary, container, and all the variants are being less commonly used in Angular material. And they have also provided guideline of typography, elevation, and there are some variables generated for shapes too. By shape, what I mean border radius. So let me give you an example how this system variable works. So what I'll do, let's go back to output and I will comment out the color part. And what I'll do, I'll manually provide some colors. So for primary, I'm using 675084 and for on primary, I'm using white. Let's save this and let's see the output. Okay, so you can see the primary color is still getting applied, but rest of the colors, the card, background, and all colors, they are gone because we are only providing very less number of CSS variables, only primary and on-primary. Angular material team requires around 50 to 60 CSS variables for all the components. If you look at this buttons, they are looking fine, but it is not looking as expected, right? So basically you get an idea how we can override theme using CSS variables. Okay, I will undo this change because I don't want to override using CSS variables. Okay, now next thing is default background and foreground colors. Angular material also provides mat.app background mixin. So this mixin helps you in setting up default foreground and background colors. So once you include this mixin and then apply mat app background class, you will have default background and foreground color set for your application. Let's take a look at it. So I will inspect this. I will go to body. You see MATLAB background class is applied. And you see in MATLAB background color and color are applied, right? So this is thanks to MATLAB background mixin. This makes sure that background color and color are getting applied in MATLAB background class. Okay. So our application is wrapped inside Angular material side tab. So it uses side nav background and foreground colors. But let's say your application does not use side nav as a default container, then MATLAB background can be a really handy class to get the colors, default colors out of Angular material design. Okay. Now we saw that how we can modify colors using CSS variables, but there is a recommended way and a more proper way to handle this overrides, which is theme overrides mixin. If you go to Angular Materials website, they have provided a guideline inside override section. They have given an example of theme override mixin. Let's try to use this mixin for in our project. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll simply copy this for now. Let's go back to our application. What we want to do, we want to override the colors of this token only. So I'll open up navigation's style file, and in theme toggle, I will apply a reddish background for theme toggle. So what I have done, I have added theme overrides mixing over here, and in theme override, what I'm telling Angular material to use red as a primary color. Okay, let's save this, and yeah, you can see the output. It is now taking up the red background color, correct? So we learned that how we can modify theme using both CSS variables first and then using theme overrides mixin, which is a more recommended way to override theme colors, right? Now I will remove this because I don't want red color toggle. It doesn't look nice. Now next is to provide support for dark theme, correct? For dark theme, what we will do, we saw earlier that theme toggle is adding the dark class to our body, correct? So we need to control the dark variant in our dark class. Now Angular material team generates CSS variables, and when they generate CSS variables, they are using light dark CSS function. So let's go to panel. Let's take a look at any system variable. So if you look at this color, matches on surface, it uses light dark function. Even matches on prime, it uses light dark function. So what light dark function does is it works on a property called color scheme. So whenever color scheme is light, it will use color from first argument, and when color scheme is dark, it will use color from second argument. So it's pretty clear that we just need to override color scheme property in our dark class. Let's do that. By default, I will apply color scheme light, and for dark, I will apply color scheme dark. Let's save this. And as you can see in the output, the dark theme is now getting applied, correct? Background, foreground, button colors, everything is according to light and dark theme, right? So you saw how easy it is to apply the dark theme. Earlier it was difficult in Angular material, not difficult, but we had to follow some steps to apply the dark theme. You had to create one more theme using define theme function. But now it is just a color scheme dark property and you will get the whole dark thing. Okay. And as we are also using matte background, the default background and foreground colors will also be controlled using Angular materials theme, right? So to recap what we did, we started by looking into default theme, which was provided by Angular material when we installed using ng add Angular material. Then we took a look at the default palettes, how many palettes are being provided. Then we learned how to create our custom palette using generate color schematics. I'll show you that again. So this was the schematic through which you can generate your own custom palette. Then we got an idea about system variables. System variables are nothing but CSS variables through which colors are being given to all the Angular material components. We also saw a brief example how we can control theme using CSS variables, but there are lots of CSS variables. So if you want to modify theme using CSS variable, make sure to add each and every CSS variable. And lastly, we learned how to use color scheme property to switch between light and dark theme. Before ending the video, I also like to show you the theme builder, which is now updated to support Angular Material 19. You can use theme builder to gain more control over Angular Material theme colors. So to visit theme builder, simply go to themes.angularmaterial.dev and you can fill in your colors. Uh, you can fill all, you can also provide an image. So let's start with a seed color. You can provide any color you want. You can switch to light and dark theme and it will generate a whole theme for you out of this seed color. Okay. And there are also other colors available, secondary, tertiary, error, neutral and neutral variants. Using these colors, the whole theme is getting generated and you can see preview of each and every component on the right side, right? So let's say we want to generate a theme from red color. We can give FF0000 and it will generate a theme from red color. Now, understand that these are just seed colors and from this whole theme is getting generated. That doesn't necessarily mean that the seed colors are available in your theme because if you see this is the red color and this looks not exactly as this red color, right? So to see generated colors, go to generated colors tab and there you will see the actual colors which are being generated. Now to generate this color, I am using material color utilities library provided by material design team, which is available on this link. Okay. And this library helps in generating all the colors from some set of seed colors. The actual color which is being generated is C00100, but we provided F F0000 as a seed color, right? So if you want to override the actual color, you can go to generated color and override this. So I will provide gray color over here and you can see the output. Now it is more towards reddish color, correct? You can also share the link of this theme and with your colleagues or design team if they want to take a look at it. And you can also export the theme. Let's see how we can export and use this theme in Angular Material 19. So there are also options available for version 18 and 15, 16 and 17. You can explore that. But for now, I'm going to focus on version 19. So select the version and select which approach you want. I will keep SCSS. I'll click on next and I will have all the tokens available. I will copy that. Let's go back to our code and simply copy and paste those code into any file. I am copying that into tokens file. So let's take a look at it. So for light theme, it is using root host, and for dark, it is using dark class. You can modify this as per your need. So for root host, I'm going to use HTML because that is the selector which I have used in our main theme file, and dark is the same selector which we are using in our dark theme. Now, once you have added the tokens in tokens file, don't forget to add that in your styles array. I have already added that. So add that tokens file after your main theme file so that theme overrides work perfectly. And once you have added that theme file, restart your dev server to see the effects. Let's take a look at the output. You can see it is getting the red theme applied in the output. I'll switch to light theme. You see the theme is getting applied, right? So you see how it is, how easy it is to generate theme using your own colors, right? So this is handy when you want to override a particular color uh, of material design, because material design uses formulas of material 3 design foundation, and it generates all the colors from some functions and formulas, right? But that may not align perfectly with our organization's brand guidelines. So there are chances that we may want to override this color. So in that case, you can use this tool and override the colors whichever you want. Okay. I hope you liked and enjoyed this video and learned a couple of things about how to change, modify, override themes and system variables in Angular Material 19. I have also written an article for this. So if you like to read, it is already available on angularmaterial.dev. I will provide the link to the article in video description. Let me know your thoughts and feedbacks in comment section, and I will see you in next time. Bye bye.